And we welcome the Faces and Heels Hemisphere to the 2022 review and looking forward to 2023. Happy New Year, Lewis.
Happy New Year, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'll tell you, this year has come out swinging with both fists, but it's all going to even out.
It's only been like 3 days.
Yeah, it has. It's really funny. The end of December was things. It's like an earthquake rumbling started, and then on the way home from New Year's Eve, I had this weird car situation I won't bore people with, and umpteen dollars later, we're back on the road. So
How much is an ump?
it's very vague. It could be anywhere from 12 to 200, and then
The
teen. So
trademark is stupidity.
you multiply it by 13.
The trademark is stupidity.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff happened this year in professional wrestling. A lot of sucky stuff happened this year in professional wrestling, both WWE, AEW, Impact, and in the indie scene. So we're going to be talking about all of it. We got a comment already coming up, and it is from William Tay.
Referee Supreme, Bill Thompson.
Yes,
Happy New
my
Year, Bill.
God. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And he was one of our top guests of the year,
He was.
2022. We're going to have him back on 2023. How about that? Uh,
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about? The worst of 2022, or you want to talk about the best of 2022? How do you want to start it? This is your gig. This is your show. How do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the day that we weren't sure was ever going to come as Vince McMahon, in big quotes, retires.
Thank you, Bill. We really appreciate it. I was shocked. I was shocked when Vince retired. I was. I wanted to come for the past few years. I wanted it to come. I definitely wanted to come, especially after what happened with Bray Wyatt, and the breakup of Bray and Alexa Bliss, and all of the hell. The past two WrestleManias, the past two Extreme Rules where nothing extreme happened. How Monday Night Raw went just from Monday Night Raw to Monday Night Medium Rare. It was just horrible. Everything was horrible underneath Vince's watch. And last year's WrestleMania and that whole thing with he and Austin was just awful. And then pushing Austin Theory, the kid is not ready. Everybody knows it. It was just he needed to go. And he it was just it was time. It was time. Let the kids take over, and he did the right thing.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons, but he did the right thing. So it's great. As a wrestling fan,
Hmm.
I want to be able to love all the indies. I want to be able to love AEW and WWE and NXT. And I think we're on our way with signings like Dragon Lee. That is big news in the world of pro
Hmm.
wrestling, who just defeated FTR for the belts in AAA, and then announces that he signed with WWE NXT.
Well, the thing is, Vince didn't allow a lot of people like Adam Cole. We all know why Adam Cole left, and a speedy recovery to Adam, because Vince didn't allow him to do the video game thing. He let Creed do it because Creed was like, "Oh, Vince, I'll give you some money off of it." So yeah, okay, let's do that. But now everyone is doing it. You have Karrion Cross, he's back, thank God, and he's doing his workout videos. And same thing with Sheamus, and everyone's interacting. Vince didn't allow that underneath his watch. Triple H, he understands. It's bringing more and more people to the arenas. It's bringing more and more people in. Imagine what the gaming community would have done if he let Adam Cole continue to do what he was doing. You,
I
you know?
agree. I agree.
Oh,
Like,
it,
keep
it
those
was
doors
just
open.
I know, and it was Vince. He was just so out of touch with his audience, and just bad. Just really bad. And Chris Hebert, hello, sir. Once again,
Hey,
spending another
Chris.
night with the Angry Geeks Network.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
So here's a question for you. Do you think that Vince would have allowed Mandy Rose to do her OnlyFans?
Well, first it wasn't OnlyFans. It was another type of, not that I know, I'm just speaking maybe from my sons, I don't know. But no, it was not OnlyFans. It's
Okay.
another type, it's another type of website.
Okay.
I am not, hey, you acknowledge me. It is not OnlyFans. But I think Vince was a subscriber, and that's how they found out.
Yeah.
I don't. We know Vince is biased. He's very biased when it comes to stuff like that. So maybe Triple H was a subscriber, and Steph found out. Hey, what's this charge on our credit card? We don't know. We don't know the full story. So maybe she's like, hey, you ain't gonna be like my dad. Um,
Right.
Chris Heber comes up with a comment, Jack.
Got to get with the times. Vince was out of touch. Triple H seems to get it. Boy, does he ever. And here is what my prediction for 2023 is going to be is we're going to have a return to greatness for NXT, and you can see Triple H setting the tone like I just mentioned, Dragon Lee getting signed, and we saw him in AEW. Triple H scooped him up, and I think you're going to see NXT get rebuilt, and we may see those kind of pay-per-views that have an arena full of energy like we saw prior to the rainbow version of NXT.
Well, you see, I think that was the whole rainbow version of NXT or NXT 2.0. That was Vince kicking his son-in-law in the balls.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Triple H got sick, and Vince is like, "Oh yeah, well I'll show you," and just kicked him in the balls. I mean, that's exactly what it
I
was.
feel like everyone watching knows I'm incapable of pleasing my wife sexually.
That's exactly what it was. So he just went over, kicked him in the balls, and that was it. And
It
because
sounds succinct and accurate.
mhm, that's pretty much that's it. But
Chris,
now Triple H is in charge, and we're getting the good stuff, man.
we're back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Chris
And
Ebert says WWE still wants to be an all ages show. OnlyFans is only for adults. No bueno for WWE. And yes, Chris, all that genre of pay sites is seemingly out of range for the WWE's tolerance. So you're right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like at this point, NXT still is in a great need of rebuilding, and it's in the process. The main roster is actually really interesting and watchable. I could do without Hardy and whoever this musical guest is who's getting involved with Solo Sika from Monday Night Raw, a Rednecker or whatever this guy is about.
yeah, what was that? I mean, I did not watch Raw. And I know we're supposed to be reviewing 2022. I did see the whole Alexa Bliss thing. I'm very, very anxious. I want her and Bray Wyatt to get back together. We all do. We all want that because that was magic in a bottle. We all have to admit, Jack, we watched that WrestleMania together. The crowd went nuts when she was on top of that Jack in the Box and the blood and everything that was happened. The crowd was there. It was just pure magic. And then Vince McMahon did what he, Vince called it and just it died right there. If they do crap like that again, it was just phenomenal. We have that once again. They could fix all that. I watched that today, and next thing you know, what happened? I see the comment. I'm not going to put it up there. He pays the bills on Angry Geeks, but he doesn't pay the bills here. I seen it, but after I watched the whole Alexa Bliss Bianca Belair thing, I did put over and I saw Solo Sakai beat up some redneck guy. What the hell happened? What was that?
I guess this is going to be a storyline that goes into the
Put
Royal
that
Rumble.
comment down. What are you guys
Oh,
doing?
sorry. Let's talk to our people in the back at the truck.
Yeah, Chris Hebert.
Yeah, Chris.
All right. So what was that redneck guy?
I guess he's a pretty well-known musician. Like there's a song called Rednecker, I believe, who, believe me, I wouldn't know personally, but my girlfriend's son is a musician and really knows his stuff. He educated me briefly before we came on because I didn't know who this guy was with a guitar, but I guess people know who he is. Brendan Daly says, I get that they're trying to be family friendly and Mandy posting what she did goes against their image, but to not even give her a chance to tone the content down, that blows my mind. Yeah, maybe they weren't happy with her in-ring work and that was an excuse to get rid of her. Who knows?
Well, you know, I need to do some research. I didn't see the photos. If you have the photos, please send them my way, and I will let you guys know. If for research purpose, I am a broadcast journalist, so just send me the photos, and I can let you know if they are toned down or how they are uncensored, please, because that's the only way I can do my homework.
Right. They
So
must be
please,
pure.
they have to be pure, unedited. Just send them my way and let me. That way, I can just look at them and review them intensely, and I can let you guys know if they were, because I thought it was because she made more money off of that than wrestling. But I need the documents. I need the proof, if you will. I need my Dusty Rhodes is coming out. I need I need just need the proof. That way, just send it over to me, and if you have them, I know someone listening or watching has it hunted down. I just did not have the time, so please send the photos over to me, and I'll be more than happy to look the photos over. Thank you.
Right. Lewis needs to dot the I's and cross the T's, so to speak.
Yes. I thought it was cross the I's and dot the T's, but that's okay.
Hey, watch that.
I
Um,
will I will definitely look at them photos and I will be sorry. I will look at them and be all set.
Okay. Well,
All right.
moving on, we should
Moving.
not only look back at 2022, but also look forward to 2023. Last year, with the Faces and Heels podcast, in our third year, we started with CPA as our first guest of
Yes.
2022. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
And
because I wasn't here.
you weren't watching.
No, I was busy with Jamie then, I believe. The first year I was not on with CPA. I believe you had one of the kids on. Was it Cody? Neil jumped in. Somebody else did because I had an Angry Geeks thing to do that night, and I was not on with you with CPA, if I remember right.
You're probably right. I remember it being fun, and maybe Cody was there. I think Cody might have been with me.
Well, yeah, one of the Perry kids jumped in. It
Yeah.
wasn't me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, the younger Perry kids. Um,
Yes,
but we had Merck on, and we've seen
yes, I
Merck
remember Mark.
in a lot of the southern territories. So it was really cool for him to be on, because we've got a lot of people based in the Northeast. So Merck
Hmm.
was really cool. We're hoping to see more of him in the Northeast selfishly. So we'll see what 2023 has in store there. We had Bobby Orlando in one of the most interesting interviews of the year. He was,
We had emails concerning Bobby Orlando. Chris Hebert actually wants Bobby Orlando at his store. We had messages about Bobby and Bobby Jr. That was even TV was like, who was that guy? And yeah, Bobby was fun. That was a fun interview, and it was just crazy.
yeah, that was a conversation like no other. You're not going to mix
Mhm.
Bobby Orlando up with anyone else.
Yeah.
And we had Mike Skyros, the Moonlight
Yes.
Sun, and he's amazing. He's really come into his own in 2022. Pro Wrestling Grind has really put a big spotlight on him, so that's going to be interesting to see how things move forward. He took on JD Drake at Restival, which we'll talk more about today as well. Chris Hebert says he loves Bobby Orlando. Don't forget Bobby Jr., Chris.
Hmm.
We don't leave Bobby Jr. out around here. We also
No, we
had
do not.
one of our West Coast friends, Travis Moody, joined us. And
Yes.
Travis is a huge toy guy. He's a huge pro wrestling guy, huge comic guy. We got a lot in common with him.
Hmm. Let's not forget Delmi Exo and Ashley Vox. Both great interviews. Lots of feedback from our fan base that we had just a great time
The Sea
with.
Stars.
Yes. Yeah. And we already talked about Bill Thompson in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we had Ethan Scott, ring announcer extraordinaire from Pro Wrestling Grind. Once again, Pro Wrestling Grind turning out some amazing stuff over the years. So we got to have a lot of the wrestlers who appear in a grind ring join us last year.
Yep. And we also had reoccurring guests.
Tell us about reoccurring guests, Lewis.
We had Rip Bison,
Right?
and we had Rook Kelly, two-time guest. Yeah,
Dynamic
oh,
Rook
excuse
Kelly
me,
to
Dynamic Rook Kelly. And now, why did you want me to say? Because you did not remember? Is
No,
that what it was?
I just wanted to hear your voice, man.
No, you didn't remember. You didn't remember. You did not remember who were the two-time guests out here on Faces and Heels. I almost said Angry Geeks.
I'm a little distracted because I did want to tell everyone that we did have, and we let some people know for the first time about the rabbit honey badger, Ryan Mooney. If you didn't know him, you might have heard about him here before he blew up all over the place and continues to. And again, at Restival, he had an unbelievable match. One of my favorite matches of the entire 3 days with AEW's Anthony Henry.
Well, he was also on AEW.
Yeah,
he wrestled.
he was.
Now let's talk about AEW. A lot of our friends worked AEW. A lot of our friends worked AEW dark matches, and let's not forget one of our close friends actually worked an AEW dark match and worked on Raw against Asuka and Bianca Belair, which is the one and only Danny Moe.
That's
And Facade himself finally on AEW dark. I mean, I can't be more prouder than the Neon Blondes than anyone, which is fantastic for both of them.
Yeah, big year for those guys. And I hope the next year is even bigger. They're belt collectors like nobody else. I think Facade has 5 titles right now. He was just at GCW this past weekend, I believe. So he's all over the place. So we just kind of hope that momentum continues in this year.
But we definitely have to get them up here and definitely to BST.
For sure. They would tear the place up. That place could use a little neon.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. It's hard to keep track of them all, but I mean, Becca was another guest who we saw, we've seen multiple times in AEW, and she's again, European tours. I know she's going back overseas this year again, so she's all over the place, not just in America, but all over the world. Sammy Diaz, another guy who unfortunately was sidelined with an elbow injury for part of the year, but is coming back strong. So we're hoping 2023 we'll be seeing a lot more of him staying injury free over the year. But he had some tremendous matches throughout the year. It's a ton of promotions, including Blitzkrieg Pro.
Well, 2022. Now let's put a little emphasis on this. 2022 was also the first year that we had tag teams as a guest here on Faces and Heels podcast, where we had the Brick City Boys. We had the main event. And
we had half of the main event.
One half of the main event, and the Miracle Generation.
And the Haven.
And the Haven. That's right. Out of all of them. And Eric is in the house. And Eric's late to the party.
You made the party.
Yeah, you did.
Can you just email me the rest of this story?
Wow. That was pretty rude. Out of all the tag teams, what one of that was the best episode?
Oh my God. I don't even know. I can't even believe it took us as long as it did to have tag teams on. I'm not sure what kept us from doing that sooner. I really honestly enjoyed all of them so much. I don't know if I laughed any more than I did in the Brick City Boys episode, though. Those guys were super cool and really enjoyed all of them because genuinely 3 of my favorite tag teams in the entire Northeast. So huge privilege to get to talk to them all. But having two guests is so different. Like I felt like we could have easily done 2 hours with all of them.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. One of the highlights for me for 2022 was when we attended the AEW show in Worcester, and now we did not sit together. I was with my kids up on this section. You were sitting on the floor, and our friends. It was a 6-man tag match. Bryce Donovan.
I think it was an 8-man, if I'm
It was an
remembering
eight
correctly.
man. Well, they did not know we were there,
Yeah.
and they came out, and they all it was so friggin' cool.
New England, acknowledge me.
When they acknowledged you in the crowd in front of the entire Worcester Centrum. It's not Worcester Centrum anymore. What is it?
DCU Center.
The DCU Center. Excuse me. When they acknowledged you, and even the boys and I, we were like, oh my god, they saw Jack. The cameras rolling. AEW cameras are rolling, and they were like, Jack. That was just amazing. That was a highlight even for me that night. I got goosebumps now thinking about it, because the crowd was like, "Who the hell is that guy?" But it was super cool. It was super cool. I was so happy for you that they did that. And yes, Eric, showing my age, definitely. Yeah, I know. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was real awesome that those guys took the time out to break character, break everything, just to like acknowledge you being there. That was the coolest thing in the world.
That was super cool, man. I will never forget that. It was awesome. And I just happened to have a Bryce Donovan piece of artwork I was
Yeah, you
holding.
did. You did. That was incredible. That it was an experience that I mean, I didn't forget. I'm sure you're not going to forget. But for them to all sit there and acknowledge your presence was cool. And that was one hell of a match for Bryce. It was Bryce, Bobby Orlando, and I remember Bryce. I remember Bobby.
Those are the
Was it the
two
Brick City
standouts
Boys?
for me. No, Brick City Boys were in a different match that
Yeah,
night.
yep, they were, because they acknowledged you too. But it was all of them, the crew, all came out. I just can't remember. Uh, Eric comes in and says, all stand up dudes, all of those teams." Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really cool. That was a good thing for Jack. I mean, I was very happy. Again, I was way back from the ring, and I couldn't have been more happy for Mr. Purcell at
That
that
was a
time.
blast, man. That was a blast. And I had my son with me, which was cool too. And we won't get too into all the stories there, but it was a teachable moment that was fun. So we had a lot of fun together. It was a cool father-son thing, and got to show him. He kind of got to see me demonstrate a life lesson, which I thought was good. But we also had Perry Von Vicious on as a guest, and in my
Oh my God.
opinion, maybe some of his strongest performances that I've ever seen at Restival. He was in a tag match with Rip Bison, known as Mad, and then he had a one-on-one match with Warhorse. And I'm telling you, those are two of my favorite Perry Von Vicious matches I've ever seen, and I've seen him live a bunch of times.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Human Monster Truck, his interview with us was captivating. It was one of the few times that we did have a person come on where I broke character. I was not being a smart guy. I wasn't being, an idiot goofing around. And we just sat there captivating and just talked. He is one of the coolest cats and a Disney fan. And that's where I lost it, where we were just talking and talking and about animation and everything. It was just one of the coolest things ever. Eric comes in and he says he's literally the best guy. He is. And Bill says a great match with Warhorse.
Bill would know. He had a front row seat, best seat in the house for most of those matches.
Bill, where it was he was the ref for that match?
I think he was. He did a lot of work at Restival, and I believe he was the ref for that match, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay. All
But
right.
we also had O'Shea Edwards on, who is someone who I wanted to have on for a while. So that was awesome. He's again super nice guy. Like he's just such a big dude. And when you get talking to him, it's just so interesting. All the stories he had to tell us, and watching his social media and like the bench max that I think it was like 405 that he was just documenting is crazy, man. That guy is just working incredibly hard.
And Bill says yes, he was the referee for that match. And no, we just bring when we for this show, we bring in not just the wrestlers, whether it be male or female. Like we said before, we brought in the ring announcers, we brought in the referees. Pretty soon, we're going to have the ring people come in.
Yeah.
We had promoters. We had promoters come in. We hit everyone. We had Leary come in. We had the guys from BST come in, and it was just fantastic. And speaking of BST, something else you were involved in. You were involved in a beatdown at a comic book convention.
I was.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, I was very innocently looking for an autograph from Mark Alexander. And as he was preparing to sign, the guy, Jack Dalton, submarined him from behind, took him out, and I ran for the hills, man. I was out of there.
Hey, yeah, what did I do? You ran for the hills, and what did I do?
You were yelling at him like he got what he deserved.
Yes, I do. We were at Chris Hebert's Collecticon, and I ran over. I was trying to get it live, but the laptop, I couldn't spin it around in time, and Jack Dalton was on the ground beating the crap out of him. So I was just like, nope, that's it. I just ran over and started. Yeah, that's it, Jack. Get him, get him, get him. And oh my God, out of nowhere, he came and just started beating on him. And yeah, I cannot. No, we're going to have Jack, the guy Jack, we're going to have Jack on the show. Am I correct?
We are. Yeah, we haven't sorted out the date yet, but the guy, Jack Dalton, will be here as a guest. It's either going to be January or February. So we're working on it. And I wanted to announce that today, but we haven't quite got a date ironed out.
Okay, cool. But it was amazing. They actually called the convention. Chris Hebert had a call, who was the promoter at CT Collecticon, actually had to call security. The place went dead silent. We do have video footage. Just either go to Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling to see this, or just we'll have it on the Angry Geeks website soon, where you can find all past episodes of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Faces and Heels. I'm excited about this because this was just amazing. Jack Purcell did run for the hills. I went into the fire because I was for Jack himself. And I was just like, get him. Chris Hebert called security, hotel security, because the convention was in a hotel. They came running in to grab Jack Dalton out. It was just amazing. The vendors all stopped. People started screaming. It was mayhem. Dogs and cats living together. It was this mass hysteria. It was unbelievable. And it was the highlight of the show, besides me taking over the DJ station. It was fantastic. And that was a highlight of 2022 for me. And
Yeah.
plus seeing Jack pee his pants, because that was great.
I mean, I didn't want to draw attention to that, but now that you mention it, it was raining out, so it was easy cover.
Yes, it was raining out. It was. Even with my heart ticking the way it was, I didn't care. I was like, get him, beat his ass. I was like, yes, do it.
It was
do it.
Blast them aliens to Kingdom Come.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And Eric Hunting says, what
these two are feuding everywhere. They are feuding everywhere, Eric. They're all over the place. You can't contain them to a wrestling venue. They're at conventions.
Yeah, no, Juicy had to carry him out. Big Juicy was there,
Oh,
which
I
was
don't know.
another great interview. Yeah, and she actually had to carry him out. It was fantastic. Great, great time.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of it's a little staggering for us to talk about looking at the year and thinking about how many amazing people we had as guests. Not to toot our
Oh,
horn, but just
Vita Von Star.
wasn't Vita Von Star 2021?
I can't. You know what? I can't remember.
I think she
Everything
was
is blurring.
2021.
Um, we have built so many relationships in 2022. The biggest relationship that we built was with Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling,
That's right.
and that's going to continue to flourish. Uh, what Kevin and the guys, it's just going to be fantastic. So stay tuned for that because it's not just with Faces and Heels. It's going to be with Angry Geeks. It's going to be with Alternate Universe LLC, the comic book shop. The three of us with them, the 2023 is just going to be off the hook. Lucas Chase, fantastic guest, BST
Yeah,
champion.
that's
My
right.
God. And his match against JD Drake, oh my Lord. Your thoughts on that match?
One of my favorite moments of the year was not that I wanted you to get hurt, but seeing you almost fall off the rafters standing up when you thought JD Drake won the belt from Lucas
Yeah.
Chase.
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, well, now Kevin sent me a video clip because I did mark out, and he goes, "The look on my face." Did Kevin send you that clip? We have to put that video clip on the line too. Um, he sent me that clip, and the look on my face was something else.
Oh,
And I
so
just
great.
stood. Oh my God! The match was poetry. It was great. And he brought it to JD. He did. He brought it there, and it was just perfect. And
Oh,
what is
Eric
that?
Hunting says Jack's interview with Davian was awesome. Get well soon, Davian. Yes, thank you, Eric. And yes, Davian just posted that she had surgery. We hope you're feeling better, quick recovery, back in the ring, hopefully in the first half of 2023.
The Gatekeeper.
The
I was
gatekeeper of
missing.
the Northeast. That's right.
Yes, I was missing for that one too. I'm not sure if I was ill. That's
You
when I was
were.
out for.
You
Yes,
were.
that
Yep.
was I was out for that one. Um, I was just blown away by our last appearance or our last card with Blood, Sweat, and Tears for their last event, which is fantastic. And I am just begging all of you to please go to a Blood, Sweat, and Tears card in 2023. Not only will you get to see the entire Angry Geeks crew, you also see Faces and Heels all in one place, and you'll have a blast because Blood, Sweat, and Tears they're going to be taking over soon. It's fantastic. The card, the wrestlers, the talent, it's just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, a lot of good
Yeah.
people down there, a lot of amazing talent. We had Harry as a guest. I mean, it's dynamite. That show, Vita Von Star against Big Juicy, was fantastic. The Brick City Boys opening the show. I could go on and on. We had Bill Thompson refereeing, top to
Mhm.
bottom. Awesome.
Yep, it was great. That was a highlight, a good solid highlight for 2022
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
And Jack Dalton, like we said, who we've seen at Blood, Sweat, and Tears, will be here, and we'll let you know as soon as we iron out that date. But really looking forward to it. There's never too many Jacks on one show, so we're anxious to have him.
Yeah,
And
yep,
Dan
yep, for
Barry,
sure.
another guy who I had so much fun talking to,
Damn,
and
Barry, that's like 45 hour 2 hours
not
two
that
hours
Dan
down.
Barry. Dan
Oh,
Barry, the pro wrestler, the veteran 20-year pro
whoa,
wrestler,
okay, all right.
who,
Now I know
who
who you're talking about.
who both he and CPA were guests of ours this year, and together they had my favorite singles match at Wrestling Open of the entire year. So we got to have both of them on.
You're just special, aren't you?
I'd say we're special together.
Yes, I think so. Thanks you. And Eric said,
Eric says, "Have you had Ref Bill Thompson on? And if not, you should." We
Eric,
actually
I'm
have.
very hurt. I'm very, very hurt. First of all, you're late to the party, and referee Bill Thompson was the first guest tonight to actually comment on tonight's show. And we acknowledged Bill Thompson being on our show. And yes, he has been a guest.
And Lewis is pointing at you, so he's angry.
That's right. Right through the video scope.
I'll tell you, someone you don't want to get angry is another one of our guests whose work I think is so unique is Dr. Redacted.
Oh, no. Oh, not at all. I mean, even that Wonder Woman Jamie Dolan wants to see him wrestle. That is how bad that is. And that whole entire show, we were supposed to be talking about wrestling. And Eric, I told you I was late. Excuses, excuses, excuses. That is all.
You are
Is
listening to the
what the
earplug.
hell? No,
Oh,
no, no, no.
Lewis is malfunctioning.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we know. Eric is just using the force here. Anyway, that whole show we're talking about wrestling, and we ended up talking about the Green Lantern and got yelled at by like the boss. She came on and yelled at us. Remember? I'm not here. You're supposed to be talking about wrestling. All I hear is you guys talking about the Green Lantern. But we have to get him up here and to a show because wow, holy moly, just incredible. And
Yeah.
it was one hell of an interview.
Yeah, and we talked about Restival. He was wrestling for ICW in a brutal match, and then he wrestled Leary for Blitzkrieg. So it was really cool to see him in two separate matches, two different kinds of matches for two different promotions at Restival.
How bloody?
The match with Leary was minimal blood, and there was more maximum blood for ICW on night one.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
awesome matches.
just unbelievable. I mean, the amount of guests that you were able to book for this show was just incredible for 2022, and I am looking forward for 2023. We're at the 40-minute mark in going into the show. We have only talked about the best of 2022. Unfortunately, we got to talk about the worst. What are some of the worst things that we saw in professional wrestling 2022?
Well, you know how I feel about him, but I know a lot of our listeners and fans were upset about the Jeff Hardy situation, seeing
Mhm.
him finally make it to AEW, and then his demons seem to continue to follow him there. That was a bummer. I was
Yeah.
bummed out to see Sasha Banks and Naomi walk out on WWE because I think they are who they are. But maybe ultimately it's going to turn into a good thing. I guess New Japan tomorrow, we're going to find out if Sasha, or whatever she's going to call herself, will wrestle Money Bones or whatever her name's going to be. Apparently she's going to wrestle tomorrow night for New Japan. And I guess Naomi's apparently going to be there and on camera. So we'll find out. But that was rough. That was a rough moment in 2022.
Well, do you also think the rumors are saying Sasha's going to show up in AEW as a mystery partner for Saraya? Excuse me. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, I hope not. I would like to not see that be her debut, but whatever. I mean, I guess I just kind of have to be open and wait and see. But I
Well,
would like,
I mean, there's a lot of personal heat there.
right.
I mean, a lot of people truly believe that she legitimately, hurt her to get ahead. You don't think so?
No, no.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I think I don't know if she goes to. I don't think she. I don't think it would matter if Sasha Banks goes to AEW. I do think that she is overrated, so I don't know. Eric comes in.
Eric says rumor going around is that Naomi is going back to WWE. Her family's there. I mean, it makes sense, but I honestly, so Naomi goes back to WWE, and what happens? She's another good hand. She's a mid Carter there. I guess, if the money's right, it's right for her to do. Cool. But I don't know. I don't know what the right thing for Naomi is. I guess only she knows.
I know what it is.
What?
I'll show you. That's what it is.
I moan.
Yeah, that's Naomi.
Oh, gee.
Naomi spelled backwards.
Good Lord. Oh, boy. Wah, wah, wah. Well, anyhow, Lewis's opinion of Naomi may differ from mine a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But I thought that was a bummer that that whole thing
Your
went down the
trademark
way
is
it did.
stupidity.
And Eric says, "Wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, with you, Eric.
okay."
We're with you.
Well, that,
We're with you.
but I mean, come on.
So I don't know. Tough moments of the year. The whole Vince thing was just gross, and I'm glad he's gone. I hope he doesn't come back. Let's welcome a more positive, in touch era with WWE. Matt Riddle's situation was sad. That was another bummer. I can't almost help but think WWE wasn't encouraging him necessarily, but by allowing the 420 gimmick and merch doesn't exactly send the message that they're anti-drug.
Well, you know that whole thing was just stupid. I'm totally against that. I don't think it should be legal. And for that is all for personal reasons, please. I'm not a political guy. I don't want to go this, but due to personal things, um, it's just that there's no place for that. Okay, if Mandy Rose can't do what she did, then Riddle they shouldn't go that way with Riddle. Plain and simple. If they don't want a woman to show off her body, why should they allow Riddle to do that? Yeah, they sent him off to rehab and all that, and he's parading around with a shirt that said 420, whatever. I don't know, but that's just me. Um, I just think it's that's just no, whatever. I just did not like the whole 420 thing at all. It just did not belong there. Not in the least.
It was a little weird. But anyway, he's got bigger problems than marijuana. So hopefully he
Yeah.
can get himself, on track, whatever his situation is. I only speak from a fan perspective. I don't know his business. I just know.
Oh no, I agree. I totally agree.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it was. It was a very, very stupid gimmick. It was just dumb. Another bad part of 2022. We're on the topic of Riddle. Randy Orton career just cut down.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to say a real goodbye. Just sad. Would put his back. Just yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You know, I think that they will milk the hell out of Randy Orton returns. They'll have him walk in the ring. He'll get a huge pop and he'll address the crowd. And I hope his career is not over, but if it is, he'll be back. He'll be doing multiple returns. They'll have some kind of a role for him. The other thing, speaking of injuries, is Big E. That was really terrifying.
Yeah, but Big E is that was scary, and I'm surprised that he's. I mean, I can't think of the guy's name. Butch, Sheamus.
Oh, the guy who injured him?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. God, what is his name?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was new.
I
from
want to call him
NXT.
Botch. I want to call him Botch.
Butch and Botch.
Yeah, I want to call him Botch because at that point, it's just I don't care what the guy's name is because he should not be in the ring. He's just dangerous and not very well liked. I just and it's like I think it was Creed who actually called it the right way when Creed and Kofi came out. Creed what's Creed has called said, "Hey, look, it's Sheamus, Bitch, and Botch." And well, Creed is Xavier Woods.
Ridge Holland, sorry.
Rich Holland. There you go. But they called him Botch, and they kept calling him Botch.
Oh.
And the guy is just dangerous, super dangerous. He's like the male My God, I can't.
The male who? Are you talking about someone who's female and bocce?
Yes, The Rock's cousin.
Oh, Tamina.
No. Boy, the medication that I'm on is really messing with my head here. My
Yeah,
God.
I mean, I wouldn't want to say it to Tamina's face, but I don't think she's a very safe in-ring performer. But
No, not
whatever,
at all.
I mean, she's Jimmy Snuka's daughter, so that's
Yes.
that. But Eric Hunting brings up a big point as well, that Triple H's health
Nia
issues.
Jax, that's the other one. Yes. Yes, Nia Jax. I cannot remember. Wow. And Eric, Triple H, yes. That was a very low point. Triple H is, yeah. What were you saying now?
I was just reading that when you were,
Oh,
interrupting me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, Triple H, that was scary. Again, like, like Lewis and I have talked about this several times, but it's stuff you can't take for granted, health in general. But Triple H's situation, who knows if he had had prior issues or if this just came out of nowhere. But that spawned a whole series of firings, and I mean, it was bad news. So that really was a milestone negative moment in 2022. So good call, Eric. That really did sort of seemingly lead to a lot of other negative moves in the year that we saw.
Mm-hmm. It certainly, well, I'm gonna say the last WrestleMania was all negative.
Oh,
That was
God,
the worst
awful, awful.
worst WrestleMania of all time. It was just horrible.
Yeah,
Night one and night two.
yeah.
Just a crappy show. And every pay-per-view up until Triple H took over was just bad.
Yeah, and it's sad. Like, I'm not trying to bash anybody, especially WWE, but it got to the point where I couldn't watch it anymore. And we do a podcast about pro wrestling. I couldn't watch WWE. It was so crappy. And for me to say that isn't trying to be cool or snarky or anything like that. It was just piss poor. And that's all there is to it. If you're a wrestling fan and you enjoyed that, I don't get it. But that's cool if you did. You can enjoy what you want. But I just could not tolerate it. But I'm at the point now where my son and I were talking like, hey, maybe in 2023, we're actually going to go back to some WWE live events.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been, and it was great. I know when at the DCU Center,
Right.
Eric, when when Triple H came out, my God, the ovation that he received, it was just amazing. When we were there for SmackDown, the place just went nuts. Okay, it was just wild, absolutely wild. But WWE was not the only place that had a lot of bad moments. Let's go to WCW. My God.
CM Punk, CM
Yeah,
Punk.
I know. AEW, they had their share. Exactly. CM Punk. Now, I called it in the beginning when they signed CM Punk. I called it and said he's going to pick up his ball and go home.
I think you
He's
call that happening within the first month, if I recall.
I did, and I told everyone. I told my boys. I told you. I told our audience. I said he is going to do this, and everyone, no, no. I'm like, yes, he's gonna do it. He's gonna screw up. He's gonna screw this company. He's gonna screw his career. He's gonna be a crybaby. Say he doesn't like anything, and he's gonna leave. He's gonna cause a ruckus and leave. And was I right? Yes, I was. I called it.
He
And
lasted a
where
little
is he now?
longer than a month, but yeah, he did implode for sure.
Yeah, and now he's just like he's a 2-year old, and I called it for sure.
And let me
And
just say, can we please, for no reason, have WWE hire him back, please?
I don't think they will. Nobody wants him anywhere. He's a toxic person, and he's toxic in every locker room. I don't think they're going to hire him back.
I hope not.
Yeah, I really don't think they will because he's just he is just a moron, and I don't think anyone's going to hire him back. I don't even think he can go to like Indonesia and be like, I want to wrestle here, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, no, 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 no," and just tell him to leave, and he ain't gonna. No, he
Jesus.
he won't. He will not wrestle, not even in Indonesia, not at all, because
Wow.
CM Punk is that horrible.
Way to
All
pick
right.
on
Now,
Indonesia.
I know what's so sad. What's really sad to me is Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page, one of my favorite wrestlers. Okay, I know you don't like the gimmick. I like the gimmick. I like his work. His exclusive figure to Walmart only is not moving off the shelf.
Nope.
Ah, my God, that's heartbreaking. I walk in there and I'm like, God. But the sad thing is, I don't have one
He
because
even
if I
comes in a
buy, if
belt.
I know it does. But the thing is, if I buy just one AEW figure, then I gotta buy another one, and I gotta buy another one. So that's why even Cody and Neil and even Rose like, do you want? No, because if I buy one, I gotta buy another. Then I gotta buy. So I don't want one, and it's like, no, 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 no.
Well, I'll
But it's
make
like
sure I return the one that I got for you.
you did not get me one.
Yeah, you're right.
No, you didn't. Um, but it's just like his figures are everywhere, and it's like wow. But it's like CM Punk, I called it. I just knew it. But another thing in AEW, they are injury prone. Adam Cole, Phoenix with his elbow being dislocated. Um, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, his injury, Christian Cage and his injury. The injury list just goes on. And Hangman Adam Page with his concussion is not as bad as Adam Cole's, but I think Adam Cole is like just like Brett, you go make the money. I'm gonna stay home and play video games and make money because he's making money doing that. But and it's safer, but it's just insane of the amount of injuries. Now, is it injury? Are the guys injury prone, or is it just unsafe workers that they're working with?
No, I mean, look at WWE. Big E, AJ Styles just broke his ankle. I mean, I
Mhm.
think the injury bug bites everywhere. Bray Wyatt just broke his finger on a house show on Saturday. So yeah, not severe like Adam Cole, but the injuries are everywhere. Bobby Fish, or no, sorry, yeah, Bobby Fish did have an injury, but Kyle O'Reilly had a more significant one that has him out for quite a long period of time as well. I don't really think it's anything about the safety so much as the intensity. Some of these guys could pick their spots a little more wisely, in my
I
opinion.
okay, all right, but now Adam Cole's injury, I think that was just purely unsafe. If you watch that, it was just unsafe because the the pile driver he took from Adam Page onto the table through the barbed wire unscathed. But it was just one kick and it gave him a concussion where he's still out. Come on.
Well, ask Bret
That's
Hart about it.
yeah, correct. Correct. Goldberg gets that one super kick because it was ill timed and uncontrolled and it just wrecked his entire career.
Right.
So yeah, it's I don't know. And there was one other person who had a career threatening injury in AEW. And I can't
Remarkably, it's not Sting, who has done some pretty amazing stuff this year.
just incredible. Incredible. Let's not forget about an embarrassing moment in 2022. Hello, Axel. We did not see you last night. Happy New Year. Um, the most embarrassing moment of 2022, I would say, has to go to Mox. By walking backwards and falling off the ramp.
I don't even remember that. Did he do
It
that?
just happened a couple weeks ago. I'm sure Eric's
Really?
must have seen it, and a couple other people. Bill must have saw it as well.
I
Mox
missed that.
was fight. He was fighting Adam Page actually, and as they were fighting, they were walking up the back entrance. They were walking. They were fighting up the
The
ramp,
ramp.
and Mox fell off the ramp.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
yes, it
Jeez.
was the funniest thing in the world. I was laughing hysterically, and it was, and even Tony Schiavone and Taz were like, "Oh my God, he fell off the ramp!" And they
Jeez.
started laughing. They started giggling. Watch it on YouTube. You can't
Oh God. I
miss it.
hope I he wasn't injured or anything, was he?
I think he was more embarrassed,
Okay.
and
He
I don't
survived a
know.
hell of a lot worse. I mean, look at some of his
Yes, yeah, he
GCW
did, but
matches.
I think he was more. He was just like going, go on. He fell off the ramp. Quite funny. AEW best match of the year. I'm gonna say Yuta versus Mox in Boston. I was in the house for that match. Wow, just unbelievable. Bloody. It was for Friday Night Rampage. Um, it was just incredible. That match was just something else.
Yeah. Wow.
Axel,
Huh.
I don't think so. It is 9 days away from my birthday. Hint, 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 my boys, and not sure. Um, I that match was the match of the year for me.
Wow. Match of the year. Wow. Huh. Geez, I don't, there's so many good ones right now. Nothing's jumping out at me. One of the best live matches I've saw for AEW was Mox versus Roosh. And you were there for that
Oh
also.
yeah, that was at the DCU Center, Eric. Uh, Roosh is I mean, he has talent, but where is he now? I haven't seen him on TV lately.
He's around.
All right. Well, see that's another thing about AEW. Um, and again, we're getting off topic, and we're just about ready to wrap up. Is they put people on TV, and the next thing you know, they're gone.
Right.
The, it's the whole Kangaroo Jack thing,
Yeah, well,
Outback
when
Jack.
you've got that big a roster, what are you going to do? There's only so many hours. Let's hope they figure out the whole Ring of Honor thing and add the pay-per-views to the streaming service, and then we'll buy it. But they got to figure it out and separate the rosters and make sense of it. But before we sign off, we do also want to make sure we thank Desmond Cole and Andy Brown for being guests as well. Andy Brown, the Thick Daddy, is the new Blitzkrieg Pro World
Yeah,
Peddling
and Andy,
Champion.
I'm working on that graphic for you, brother. I did not forget. I do have the template. I just got to put everything together, and I will give it to Jack, so you will have it. And I will like my $14,000 um, commission fee. Thank you. But that
Right.
template will be to you. All right. And Axel, that is not necessary. I am not going to put that comment up, Jack.
Okay.
All
But
right.
let me also make sure we give a quick congratulations to the new Blitzkrieg Tag Team Champions,
Oh,
the Miracle Generation,
yes. Congratulations, Flash. Thank you, sir.
and
Thank
Kylon
you very much. Huh?
and Kylon King.
Kylon. Yeah, Flash and Kylon.
Okay. So to make sure you
Yes.
thank everyone. Um,
Yes, I do.
Anyway, we didn't really talk too much specific about Restival, but if you have IWTV, make sure you go there. You'll see some other people winning the championships. Violence is Forever. Congratulations for being the IWTV Tag Team Champions, even though you defeated teams that we're also friendly with. So, congratulations. I'm sure those teams will be hot on your heels very soon. But welcome to 2023. We are going to have the guy Jack Dalton. Also, haven't got a date ironed out quite yet, but we're going to expand some of our guests beyond wrestlers like we've done in the past, like Lewis has mentioned. But we're going to have Alyssa Marino here, and she has done all kinds of commentating and ring announcing for companies all over the place. So we're really looking forward to having her on. We'll let you know when that date is solidified, as well as other guests, and we just don't have anything solid yet. Bill Thompson, Wrestling Open. We're over a year of our Thursdays Forever happening. Can't wait to see you there live for my next live show at Wrestling Open. I've been there 4 times, so this one's free. I'm excited. I got my little Wrestling Open card. So we're going to have to cut this short, and we could talk a lot longer, but we'll continue next week. If you want to find us on social media, you could find us at Faces and Heels Podcast on Instagram, Faces and Heels on Facebook. You can find me at Jack Purcell Inc. INK on Facebook and Instagram. If you go to patreon.com, just look for Jack Purcell. My unlettered pages of my follow-up to Malice and Mistletoe, my creator-owned graphic novel, are up on Patreon exclusively. So if you want to see 9 new pages of artwork, they're all there waiting for you, including some other new artwork that you won't see anywhere else on my social media. And Lewis, where are we finding you, as well as where can people find us live online?
You can find me every Monday night with that Wonder Woman Jamie Dolan and our sidekick Quinderella on the Angry Geek Show. You can find me on my Facebook page and on all over Instagram and all over Facebook, or you can go to the Angry Geeks Show Network.com, where there you can buy merch for the Angry Geeks and soon to be Faces and Heels podcast. You can also download videos. Yes, you can download our show, this show right here, and Angry Geeks videos. Yeah, you can see us on stage with celebrities. You can see me and Jack hanging out. You can just go there and watch all the videos there, and then you can go to wherever your favorite podcasts, which is like Stitcher and Amazon and all those places, and listen to us as you're driving and you're bored. Just go there and download the audio and listen to us there, because that's where we are. But if you didn't understand what I said about Monday nights, this is where you can find me.